Paulie, I go back good 15, not even 10, 15, 20 years ago, and this week was an impossibility. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I will never not be amazed that it's actually coming here, and this is the official week now for it. I would have lost everything I had a decade ago if you told me and wanted to make a bet that the Super Bowl would eventually come to Las Vegas. I would have said, you're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
No, how much do you want to bet?
$1 million to one shot.
Yeah, it really was.
Easy. I've only been to a couple of Super Bowls. You've been to a lot more than I have. But the relationship between Las Vegas and the NFL was horrendous. I mean, your colleague at the time, they wouldn't even let him ask a question when you met with Tagliabue and they were taking questions from the media, how bad it was, and then you wouldn't even take an ad from Las Vegas. We'll get to the Romo thing in a second, but we've lived here for 24 years to think we would have a team, and now that it's the week of the Super Bowl and the game is here, it is miraculous what happened. And I know Tony Rizzo, our guy Friday, brought up what happened in 2007. Well, that wasn't Las Vegas's fault, what happened with All-Star Week. That was just people that came to town wanting to cause trouble, and no one could see that coming. But this is just staggering what's happened, because you had Tagliabue, who was afraid of a scandal, and in 2012, Goodell said, we don't want to be associated in any way with gambling, and it's bad for our sport, and we don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, this goes back to the early and mid-2000s when eventually it came out that the NFL put the kibosh on all spots in Las Vegas that were offering the Super Bowl, like in a sports book like this or in a ballroom. If it was on a TV larger than 55 inches and they were charging, the NFL said, nope, that's done. Can't do it. It's in we have the laws right here, the rules that we have implemented, and you're breaking those rules that we have. And they also said that we're not going to accept Las Vegas ad dollars during the Super Bowl, and that's when eventually the what happens in Las Vegas stays here took off, and it was like wildfire and became such a big thing. But when we traveled to the Super Bowl and Tagliabue was still the commissioner, a friend of mine at the time asked the question about turning down Super Bowl ads. It was a great question, and Tagliabue was completely rattled, and he compared it to prohibition, and it was one of the silliest answers I've ever heard in my entire life. The next year, show up again. You got to raise your hand. Where are you from? Las Vegas? Oh, funny, the mic never came around again. Las Vegas-based media not allowed to ask the commissioner of the NFL any more questions. So they were running around giving the microphone to everybody else, but they avoided us like it was the plague.
Yeah. David Purdom did a great job, ESPN.com, writing an article on the relationship and how things have changed going back. In that iconic ad, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. They wouldn't run in 2002, but they ran it locally, and it became one of the best ads ever. And even Laura Bush was on The Tonight Show and referenced it when she was on. But another guy who deserves a lot of credit is other than the mayor, Oscar Goodman, is Jay Cornegay, who's still at the Westgate, that he met with all the heads of all the officials of the various sports, and they also came in the back room for March Madness and other events and telling them we don't want to take wagers on events that are predetermined. So it opened their eyes once they did research homework and went in the back room and saw how these odds makers move numbers, what they do in the back room. They also came out for March Madness and saw the viewing party and the success with that. And I think that was a turning point as well. But between the hit show Las Vegas on NBC, you can't even run ads promoting your own TV show. The Romo convention, fantasy football in 2015, which was canceled because he wasn't even in a casino at that time.
I think that was week of, by the way.
Yeah, good point.
Here you had, and fantasy football has been, enormous for a long, long time. So this is not even 10 years ago, and Tony Romo was the face of that event going on. And yeah, you're right, at a non-gaming property in town, and it was the week of, and the people who had planned trips out here for who knows how long in advance to come and be a part of that, you got to book your airfare, your hotel, the whole deal. And then basically that week, nope, sorry, Tony Romo cannot, we're going to put the axe on this as well. You thought you're going to be traveling from all over the country and maybe the world to be a part of it, but nah, have fun in Las Vegas, just it can't be anything fantasy related. Like the week of?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's still stunning that the 180 here with the relationship. And in 2017, the league fined players who participated in an off-season made-for-TV arm wrestling contest at a nightclub in a Vegas casino weeks after the Raiders announced they were coming to town. So between all this is why, to me, it's staggering. and maybe higher than 1,000,000 to 1 shot that this has happened, and how the relationship was so bad in the 24 years we've lived here. And now not only do we have a team, but we have a Super Bowl.
Well, funny how money speaks, right?
Yeah, and now it's legal in 38 states with legalized sports betting.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.